What if Tanjiro became the Demon King from the start? There isn't really a clean explanation for this, because in the original timeline, Tanjiro only becomes the Demon King after Muzan is basically dying and passes it on to him. That's why he had control over all demons and gained that level of power. There's no realistic way for him to have that power from the beginning, so for this what if, we're just going to say he had it from the start and always had it. This immediately changes the entire story. After Tanjiro comes back from selling coal and finds his family killed, that's when his Demon King powers fully awaken. Nezuko still becomes a demon, but she breaks out of Muzan's control, just like in the original timeline. The difference is that Tanjiro, as the Demon King, already knows exactly how to help her and stop her from rampaging. Instead of panicking or looking for help, he keeps her under control himself. The biggest change here is Giyu. When Giyu encounters Tanjiro, Tanjiro doesn't need to hide in the dark like Muzan did. He's a far better version of Muzan, with all of the Demon King abilities, but without the fear or instability. He can control demons, create them, command them, and manipulate his body just like Muzan. On top of that, he already has full knowledge of sun breathing, just like he did at the end of the original timeline. Tanjiro keeps his personality though. He's still kind, still calm, and he doesn't want to kill anyone. When Giyu tries to fight him, Tanjiro holds back massively. The only person who could realistically challenge Demon King Tanjiro would be Yoriichi Tsugikuni, and even Muzan couldn't compete with Yoriichi. Tanjiro is closer to Muzan's level, but higher, while Yoriichi is still naturally stronger because of his stamina and skill. During the fight with Giyu, Tanjiro doesn't try to win. He toys with him, deflects his attacks, reshapes his body, and uses abilities similar to Muzan's flesh manipulation. He could easily kill Giyu, but he doesn't. Instead, he restrains him briefly, flings him away, and escapes with Nezuko. From that moment on, the entire Demon Slayer story is flipped upside down. Tanjiro's first destination would be Lady Tamayo. Since this version of Tanjiro has Demon King powers and his memories from the original timeline, he already knows she's the best option. At this point, no one in the verse can really beat him, so he's almost like Saitama in this world. He brings Nezuko to Tamayo's house to get help and understand what's happening. Because Tanjiro became the Demon King through Muzan's blood, his blood is extremely similar to Muzan's. Even though he's his own Demon King, Tamayo immediately realizes how valuable this is. She starts studying his blood much earlier than in the original timeline, but she still needs Shinobu's help since Shinobu was a huge part of her research. This creates tension with the Demon Slayer Corps. Tamayo was already controversial as a demon, but now there's a Demon King involved, one who hasn't hurt anyone. The Master would hesitate, wondering how the Hashira would react to this. Giyu, especially, would be conflicted. He already fought Tanjiro once and got flung away, so from his perspective, Tanjiro feels dangerous, even if he isn't evil. After leaving Tamayo's house, Tanjiro and Nezuko don't need to hide. They can walk in daylight, and unlike Muzan, they're both immune to the sun. Tanjiro has all of Muzan's ability, including the power to transform his appearance and go undercover if he wants. He could infiltrate the Demon Slayer Corps, but that idea feels wrong to him, so he saves it as a last resort. Instead, Tanjiro does what feels right. He hunts demons. With his speed, strength, and sensing abilities, tracking demons is easy. He keeps in contact with Tamayo and promises the same thing as the original timeline. If he defeats an upper moon, he'll bring back a blood sample. He starts hunting seriously, focusing on upper moons rather than lower demons. Some upper moons are hard to locate. Gyoko is elusive, and Kokushibo's movements are unknown. He could be anywhere in Japan, but Upper Moon 6 is more active and closer to populated areas. Tanjiro figures that's the best place to start. Because of his Demon King powers, what would normally take days or weeks only takes him about a day. He reaches the entertainment district without being noticed, fully disguised, no longer tied to the events of Season 1. In this timeline, Tanjiro isn't a Demon Slayer at all. He's something else entirely, and that's where he encounters Upper Moon 6 first. Now, when Tanjiro senses Upper Moon 6, he goes straight to her and cuts off Daki's head. Now, people might ask, how does he even get a Demon Slayer sword? He probably finds one, steals one, or does whatever he has to do to get one. Since he can transform super fast, it's pretty easy for him to get a sword. He slices off Daki's head in a quick second using breathing. And because of his past memories, he already knows Gyutaro is going to come out, so he saves all the people around him first. He does something similar to what Muzan did in the Infinity Castle. He forms himself into a kind of ball and makes sure Gyutaro can't unleash that massive attack on the entertainment district, the one that levels everything. While doing that, he slices Gyutaro's neck at the same time. This saves a lot of people's lives, and also saves Tengen, meaning Tengen never retires in this timeline. That alone changes a lot, because one of Tengen's main goals was retiring, and now that never happens. Tanjiro also saves Tengen's wives and helps them get to safety. Once everything is handled, he leaves. This creates something weird for Tengen. He's going to hear about this later. A strange demon slayer helped them and killed an upper moon demon. That alone puts Tanjiro on the Demon Slayer Corps' radar. Giyu probably doesn't even realize it was Tanjiro. Giyu never saw Tanjiro's breathing styles here. He only saw him briefly in combat and getting thrown by those flesh-like attacks before. So Tanjiro leaves the entertainment district quietly and continues hunting more demons. Now after that, he goes into full detective mode because he needs to figure out more about the whereabouts of the upper moon demons. The two that seem the most out in the open are Doma and Kokushibo, because we don't really know what Upper Moon 4 or Upper Moon 5 do during the night. They probably eat a lot of humans too, but there's no clear pattern. Kokushibo feels more widespread though. He's clearly destroying villages and eating large numbers of humans at once, and nobody can really stop him. On the other hand, there's Doma and his cult. That's a huge giveaway, because there are rumors about people going missing and humans being eaten through that group. Because of Shinobu's background and what happened to her sister, Tanjiro knows Doma is important. Shinobu's family is already somewhat connected to the Demon Slayer Corps, so it makes sense that Doma's hideout wouldn't be that far away, maybe a few hours from where the Demon Slayer Corps operates. Tanjiro starts looking into that and eventually finds Doma's cult. When Demon King Tanjiro arrives, he senses a demon immediately. Doma doesn't look like a demon at first because he's good at hiding it, but the presence is obvious. Tanjiro knows for sure Doma is a demon. He waits until night to make his move. At the same time, Doma senses something is wrong. He can tell there's another Demon King nearby. Because Tanjiro has all his memories from the original timeline, he knows exactly who Doma is. He knows Doma killed Shinobu's sister, and eventually Shinobu herself. He takes that personally, and makes sure Doma can't escape once the fight starts. When night comes, they fight. Tanjiro is far stronger, and Doma can't run away, so he's forced to stay and fight, but Muzan is already aware that something strange happened. Through Gutaro's death, Muzan sensed that someone extremely strong with sun breathing was involved, so Muzan is already on alert. Before Doma is killed, Muzan interferes. Using Nakimi's blood demon art, Doma is pulled away into the Infinity Castle. That changes everything. Tanjiro didn't know that was going to happen, and by the time he realizes it, the portal closes too fast. Tanjiro is left outside, furious with himself. He's angry that he let Doma escape, and that he didn't follow him into the Infinity Castle. The portal shuts instantly, and there's nothing he can do. Now Tanjiro knows he needs a better plan. He realizes the only way to get consistent information on the upper moons is through the Demon Slayer Corps, so he keeps researching, gathering information, and tracking demon activity, all while knowing one thing for sure. He doesn't want Shinobu to die. Now in the Infinity Castle, Doma is still joking around like his usual self, but he tells Muzan that the presence he felt was very similar to his. The strength, the pressure, everything. Muzan realizes this because he was watching through Doma's eyes during the fight. Tanjiro has all the same traits, but his blood demon art is different. His blood is fused with flames. If you've seen my video, what if Tanjiro and Nezuko became upper moon demons? Then you already know what his blood demon art. It's basically breathing that lets him produce real flames. Doma tells Muzan that Tanjiro feels like a stronger version of him. Muzan gets furious and says no one is stronger than him. All that usual stuff. On the other side, Tanjiro is frustrated. He knows he has to move carefully now, especially at night, before anyone realizes he fought Doma. He continues searching, but now he knows everyone is on guard. Muzan warns all the upper moons about a Demon Slayer level threat that rivals even them. Kokushibo is especially interested. He hears that this person is using sun breathing and wonders if it could be Yorichi. Even though Yorichi died long ago, the idea still bothers him. Kokushibo wants to fight Tanjiro. The other upper moons are cautious too. Muzan also decides not to kill the lower moons in this timeline because he feels like he needs all the help he can get. Muzan calls an upper moon meeting. They talk about how upper moon 6 was killed and what to do about Demon King Tanjiro. Meanwhile, Tanjiro realizes he won't be able to hunt upper moons easily anymore. They know he exists and they won't fight him alone. So he switches to a backup plan, going to the Demon Slayer Corps. Not infiltrating exactly. The Corps already knows about Tamayo, and the Master already knows of Tanjiro through her. Tamayo knows Muzan's strength better than anyone, and she believes Tanjiro is stronger. Tanjiro goes alone, without Nezuko. He doesn't want her getting attacked by the Demon Slayers. He seals his presence as much as he can, but the Hashira notice him immediately, especially Giyu. Before the Master can speak, the Hashira rush Tanjiro and try to kill him. Tanjiro doesn't fight back seriously. He uses Muzan-like tentacles to restrain them all. Even Gyomi can't overpower him. He holds them in place until the Master orders everyone to stop. The Master explains that Tanjiro is not an enemy. Most of the Hashira still don't trust him at all and want nothing to do with him. Then Tengen speaks up. He says he recognizes Tanjiro. He's the demon who saved his wives and killed Upper Moon 6 in the entertainment district. That shocks the Hashira. Tengen confirms it. His wives described Tanjiro perfectly. Because of that, Tanjiro is allowed to stay. Not as a Hashira, not as a demon slayer, but as an ally, a demon who chose to help humanity. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering, what about Rengoku and the Mugen Train? And what happened to Inosuke and Zenitsu? So this part is just to help everyone understand how the timeline is laid out. In this timeline, Inosuke and Zenitsu still become friends, and everything still happens up through Rui's mountain. Giyu and Shinobu still show up, and the lower moon is still killed. That part of the story does not change. Now for the Mugen Train. The arc mostly plays out the same, but there is one major difference. Akaza never shows up. The reason Akaza doesn't appear disappear has nothing to do with Tanjiro or Rengoku. In the original story, Akaza wasn't sent there to fight them. He was searching for the blue spider lily, which Muzan ordered him to find. He just happened to encounter Rengoku and Tanjiro after Enmu was defeated. In this timeline, Akaza is busy dealing with other matters, and the upper moons are already being gathered because of Demon King Tanjiro. Muzan is focused on a much bigger problem, so Akaza never goes to the Mugen train at all. Because of that, Rengoku protects the train and kills Lower Moon 1, Enmu, without Akaza ever interfering. The train is saved, and Rengoku survives without that final battle. So with that explained, we now cut back into the current timeline. Now, just because the Hashira accept Tanjiro doesn't mean they like him. They don't really talk to him, and there's still a lot of tension. But Tanjiro understands that. Instead of trying to win them over, he goes straight to the master and tells him everything. Tanjiro explains the Demon Slayer mark in full detail, how it activates, what it does to the body, and the cost of using it. He tells the master everything he knows because he has all his memories from the original timeline. He also explains that Shinobu is needed to work with Tamayo, and that together they can start working on a way to turn him back into a human. But the master is honest with him. He says that right now they still need Tanjiro's strength to defeat Muzan Kibutsuji. With that information, the master starts preparing the Hashira much earlier. The Demon Slayer mark is explained to them ahead of time, and training for it begins far sooner than in the original timeline. This happens around the time the Entertainment District arc would have taken place, but in this timeline, things are already moving faster. Tanjiro already has his mark, so instead of training for it, he goes out on more missions, gathering information and eliminating demons wherever he can. Muzan notices this shift. He starts holding Kokushibo back because he doesn't want the upper moons wiped out too early. He knows something is coming. The master also knows his time is running out, and he understands that his sacrifice is still necessary. Muzan would never expose himself unless the master revealed his location, just like in the original timeline. When Muzan finally appears, the plan unfolds differently, but the outcome is similar. The master dies, triggering the explosion and trapping Muzan. This time, Demon King Tanjiro faces Muzan directly. Tanjiro slices off Muzan's head, just like Yome did in the original timeline, but the situation is completely different because Muzan is prepared for sun breathing and Tanjiro's presence. Muzan doesn't want to deal with Tanjiro himself for long. He wants his upper moons to handle it. Inside the Infinity Castle, it's said that the demons present are all at least lower moon level, but in this timeline, the lower moons are much closer to upper moon strength. There are more demons overall, and they immediately clash with the Hashira across the battlefield. Because of this, the Swordsmith Village arc never happens the same way. The Hashira training arc happens earlier instead, and by the time the Swordsmith Village events would normally occur, everyone has already been dragged into the Infinity Castle. Now, with the battlefield set, we can move into the matchups and see how everything plays out. Now, once they're inside the Infinity Castle, Tanjiro immediately tries to go after Muzan. But just like how Sukuna used Mahoraga against Gojo, Muzan does the same thing in his own way. He calls Nakime, the Biwa woman, and has her teleport him away so he can recover from Tamayo's poison. After that, Tanjiro falls through the Infinity Castle. Tamayo already knows where Nakime would send him, and Tanjiro lets it happen. He drops straight into a one-on-one fight with Kokushibo. No interruption, just them. Kokushibo is the only demon who truly rivals Demon King Tanjiro. In raw strength, speed, and combat ability, Kokushibo is on Muzan's level. This turns into the biggest fight in the entire story. Tanjiro doesn't want anyone getting in the way. He tells the demon slayers who arrive to stay back and go fight elsewhere while he handles Kokushibo alone. The fight is insane. Tanjiro uses sun breathing at full power, moving at extreme speeds. Kokushibo, with his 6 eyes, can actually keep up with him. They're cutting off each other's limbs, clashing blood demon arts, and trading blows non-stop. It's just pure combat, no holding back. Eventually, Tanjiro overwhelms Kokushibo. He slices off his eyes and corners him. Kokushibo realizes that all his strength was meaningless in the end. Only the sun can truly kill him. And facing Tanjiro's sun breathing and those earrings, he finally accepts it. He thinks of his brother, lets go of his hatred, and dies. After that, the focus shifts to the rest of the Infinity Castle. Doma, Akasa, Upper Moon 4, Upper Moon 5, and the remaining lower moons are all fighting the Hashira across the battlefield. Also, Kaigaku never becomes a demon in this timeline. Upper Moon 1 never went to that village, so Kaigaku stays human. He still fights alongside the demon slayers, but he's a coward, and he ends up dying anyway. After that, the Upper Moon 2 fight with Doma still happens mostly the same. Shinobu, Kanao, and Inosuke are fighting him, but before Shinobu actually dies, Tanjiro flies in and saves her. Shinobu is still on the brink of death though, with collapsed lungs and severe injuries, so she's laid down and can't fight anymore. Now we move on to the rest of the Upper Moon fights. Upper Moon 3, Akasa, is handled by Gyome and Sanemi in a straight 2 versus 1. No Hashira ever fought Akasa before in this timeline, but these two are the strongest. Between overwhelming force and Akasa remembering his past after his head is cut off, he ends up killing himself just like in the original timeline. Upper Moon 4, Hantengu, is fought by Muichiro, Genya, and Gyu. One of them holds back the main emotion clone, while Gyu goes after the real body. Genya helps wherever he can, and once the main body is killed, the entire demon goes down. Upper Moon 5, Gyoko, is taken out by Muichiro and Obanai. Muichiro already defeated him alone in the original timeline, and Obanai is one of the strongest Hashira, so together they kill him without too much trouble, even without the Demon Slayer mark. After that, Muichiro and Obanai help Yushiro deal with Nakimi. Yushiro manages to take control of the Infinity Castle, but once Muzan realizes everything is collapsing, he kills Nakimi himself. Yushiro still manages to get everyone out of the Infinity Castle. Now we move into the final phase. Most of the Hashira are still alive, and many of them never unlocked the Demon Slayer mark in this timeline. The only ones who truly needed it were Sanemi and Gyomei, since the hardest fight for the Hashira was Akaza. Tanjiro already took care of Upper Moon 1 and Upper Moon 2. Shinobu is badly injured and can't fight anymore, but she's alive and being treated. Tengen was still fighting lower moon level demons during all of this, since Nakimi wasn't taken over until later. He held them back so they couldn't interfere with the Upper Moon battles. Everyone gets separated as the Infinity Castle collapses, and we enter the Sunrise Countdown arc. Tanjiro and Muzan finally face each other directly. Muzan is already weakened by Tamayo's poison, and Tanjiro is simply stronger. The fight is completely one-sided. Tanjiro kills Muzan outright, without the Hashira even needing to step in. The only person who dies that night is Gyomei. Because he's past the age of 25 and has the Demon Slayer mark, he passes away just like Kokushibo said in the original timeline. So with that, Obanai and Mitsuri still get together, and they live long lives since they never receive the Demon Slayer mark. Because of that, they don't die at 25 and get to live full lives together. The same goes for Mitsuri. She doesn't die young in this timeline and gets to live a long, happy life. Shinobu also survives and ends up with Gyu. Since neither of them gets the Demon Slayer mark, they both live long lives as well. Most of the Hashira survive in this timeline. Tengen gets to live out his normal life and fully retire, and unlike the original timeline, he doesn't lose an arm, and his body isn't permanently damaged. Overall, this timeline turns out really well. It's long, it's detailed, and honestly, it's better than a lot of the other timelines I've made. So make sure to like and subscribe. If you guys want to support me, hit the join button down below so you can get videos like this early. Let me know what you think about the new voice, and make sure to check out this video right here. What if Tanjiro had the solo leveling power system? That's one of my favorite videos I've ever done.